If I asked you where your brain is located, hopefully you'd point at your head. If I asked you to show me where your mind is, chances are you'd point to your head as well, which is completely normal, but extremely unscientific, as we have no test to prove where the mind is located. Yet, most of us think it's up there in our brain. Regardless of where it is, our health and wellness depend on us understanding that the brain and the mind are separate entities. In this video, I'm going to break down how our brain, body, and mind work together to keep us safe. I'm also going to explain how the same mechanism, which is vital for our survival, can harm us if it's used too often. Once I give you an overview of the processes involved in our fight or flight system, I'm going to teach you how you can switch the system off when it's turned on unnecessarily. Imagine you're sitting comfortably in front of your television looking for something that interests you, and someone or something sneaks up behind you and... Now, it's not an actual threat, but the loud noise startles you, so you instinctively jump up from your chair or you raise your arms to protect your head. Your instincts cause you to move this way because in a nanosecond, using a bottom-up process, the sensory nerves in your ears and skin experienced a sudden change in your environment, which in turn alerted your thalamus, which acts as a relay station between your brain and your body. Then, because your brain-body cannot tell the difference between an actual threat, a near miss, and one that is imagined, the thalamus quickly passed the information to the amygdala, which activated your internal alarm. Then, through a top-down process, electrical and chemical instructions are sent from your brain to your endocrine and exocrine systems via nerve cells in your spinal cord. While your brain body is in survival mode, a surge of stimulating hormones instruct the cells involved with fighting or fleeing to move. And in an effort to conserve energy, other hormone levels decrease, which tells the cells that are not needed to stand by. Hormones like adrenaline and cortisol cause a cascade of responses that increase your blood sugar, heart rate, blood pressure, respiratory rate, and your core temperature. Smooth muscle cells, which you cannot voluntarily control, are put on standby. As a result, processes involved with digestion, reproduction, and your innate immune system are temporarily out of commission. Skeletal muscle cells, which you can control, are instructed to move. This is why your hands will begin to shake. Cardiac muscle cells, comprised of both skeletal and smooth muscle, are told to move faster. Your hearing may become more sensitive, or sounds could be diminished, muffled, or you could experience ringing or tinnitus in your ears. Your eyelids open wider, allowing more light to come in, causing your pupils to dilate. At the same time, your peripheral vision expands, so you can assess your surroundings while still maintaining a laser focus on your escape route or your foe. To prevent you from hemorrhaging if you did get injured, the clotting factors in your blood rise and platelet production increases. To fuel the cells needed for fighting or running, blood is diverted to your vital organs and skeletal muscles, which causes your skin to look pale and feel clammy. And in order to keep the excess glucose in your blood available for instant energy, the release of the hormone insulin drops as well. Lagging a split second behind the automatic mechanisms your brain-body initiated is your subconscious mind, which is busy searching through the information you have stored, in this case regarding loud noises. And because its number one objective is to protect you, it acts on the worst case scenario and agrees with your amygdala. When this happens, you begin to feel fearful.
Oh my God!
While your instinctual brain is in charge, critical thinking, like solving a complex math problem, will be difficult. Eventually, your conscious mind will weigh in and decide whether the threat is real or not. If your mind decides the threat is real and you have to fight or run for your life, the stimulated cells will absorb the high levels of adrenaline, cortisol, and glucose, and hopefully you'll survive the threat before you and your extra resources are exhausted, which takes approximately 20 minutes. When the hormone levels return to normal, the body sends a message back up to the brain, and the fight or flight system turns off. If your conscious mind decides the threat isn't real, and therefore running or fighting isn't necessary, the levels of glucose, cortisol, and adrenaline will remain elevated, and it will take approximately 60 minutes for the body to tell the brain to shut the system down. During those 60 minutes, the rise in your heart rate and blood pressure will place undue stress on your circulatory system and will make you feel tense and uptight and may lead to a headache. Ignoring the impulses to move your skeletal muscles will make you feel restless. The excess sugar in your blood will create an acidic environment which will irritate, inflame, and damage your cells. And instead of converting the sugar to energy that can be stored in your liver, it will be converted to fat. Your thickened blood might form clots unnecessarily. And since your digestive system is on standby, eating may cause heartburn, indigestion, or diarrhea. The reduction of sex hormones and diverted blood flow will affect the necessary mechanics for women and men during sexual activity, and the interruption of your innate immune response will make you more vulnerable to foreign organisms. And lastly, if you are not aware of how the fight or flight system works, and you do not appreciate that your mind can turn it on, but it cannot turn it off, your racing heart, shallow breathing, ringing ears, clammy skin, restlessness, and what many refer to as brain fog just might convince you that you have an anxiety disorder. Now that you're aware of some of the processes that increase or decrease during your fight or flight response, I'm sure you can see how turning this mechanism on when your survival is not threatened can lead to heart attack or stroke, diabetes, gut problems, lowered libido, weight gain, and mental distress. While we can't always prevent its unnecessary activation, the good news is that once we understand the roles of the mind and brain body, we can learn how to turn the system off earlier, which helps us to recover, repair, and return to homeostasis faster. The Move It method combines 6 body movements that mimic the actions of fighting or fleeing. To make the 6 moves easy to remember, I've used the anagram Move It. M is for muscles. Moving your skeletal muscles will reduce the levels of stimulating hormones and glucose in your blood. So you could wrestle with your kids, run up and down a flight of stairs a few times, do some jumping jacks, or go for a brisk walk. And if you can't move for some reason, like because you're on a freeway, a plane, or in a meeting, squeezing and relaxing the muscles in your legs and buttocks is better than nothing. The O is for oxygen. Even when you are at rest, your heart rate increases when you inhale and slows down when you exhale. So, longer exhales will slow your racing heart down. For this movement, I suggest using the 4, 5, 6, 7 breathing technique. Simply inhale and count to 4, hold your breath for a count of 5, exhale for a count of 6, and then repeat 7 times. The V in the Move It method represents your voice. If you were faced with an actual threat, you might scream or you might remain silent. So, if you whistle, sing, or hum your favorite love song, it will signal to your brain that the coast is clear. The E is for eyes. You've probably heard the saying that the eyes are a window to the soul. The truth, however, is that our eyes are a window to our brain because the retinas in our eyes are the only part of our brain that's located outside of our skull. So, lowering your eyelids halfway and shifting your eyes from side to side signals to your brain that the threat is gone. The letter I involves your imagination. Since you can only think about one thing at a time, and you cannot not think a thought, you have to replace your fearful thoughts with safe thoughts. Watching the news, a horror movie, or any type of violence should definitely be avoided because, as I said before, your brain does not know the difference between what is real and what is not. So, you might try watching a comedian or video clips featuring babies or animals instead. Or you could listen to your favorite song, envision someone you love, or distract yourself by interacting with another person. The letter T stands for temperature. Normally, when the body's temperature goes up, it cools down by sweating. While your blood is temporarily being diverted away from your skin, this process is hindered. Lowering your body's temperature signals to your brain it's safe to turn the system off. So you could jump into a pool, take a cool shower, stand in front of an air conditioner or fan, and if these options aren't available, you could drink an icy cold beverage or try holding an ice cube in your hand while it melts. Bottom line is that we are not meant to live in survival mode, yet many of us are stuck there day after day because of chronic, unnecessary stress. Deadlines, traffic, conflict, social media, none of it's life-threatening, but your brain body doesn't know that. When stress becomes chronic, your brain body exists in a state of disease, affecting everything from your heart and gut to your mood and immunity. And the movement method is a simple and effective way to interrupt that process. It helps you reset before stress turns into symptoms and gives you back the reins in a world that often pulls you in every direction. With awareness and a few intentional moves, you can spend most of your time in the state of rest and digest and protect your long-term health in the process.